co-walkout partner here. This is going to be very fun. You can already see there's a little bit of a height difference between the two of them, but they start off, shaking hands. For a second, I wasn't sure they were going to shake hands.
I really wish this was a combat jiu-jitsu match just for the hype of it, but I'm going to let it go.
I think I understand where you are coming from.
It's very spicy. I like that. All right. Into the actual jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely. And I want to say, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I wanted to say that I thought I saw Luis actually trains as a pro wrestler from one of our videos that we put up for our commercials. And I just find that so fascinating because it's always a big X factor. Sometimes people who have pro wrestling backgrounds or actual wrestling backgrounds come in and are these fan favorites that just give you big moments to expect. Having said that, Kevin Richardson, a lanky partner here, who seems all the more willing to stand up with him. Man. Until he doesn't, and then he decided to pull guard. But maybe this is his place, because the nice part about him is with the long legs that he has, that guard could sometimes be your friend.
One of these things, though, with Luis that really surprised me right now is he had the hands on the hips for a while defending the close guard. But then there was a moment where he seemingly, just kind of succumbed to going into the close guard. And I think that was an error. I really do think that was an error. You have Kevin Richardson already dragging the arm across. Like you mentioned, Raph, the length of the legs and the body styles being so mismatched makes opening a close guard on someone so much taller and longer leg than you and this strong very, very difficult, because especially in no-gi, you do not have the grips. You cannot staple them down. You can't control the sleeve to stand up and open the guard. So I think when you're competing with someone, especially with long legs like this, especially if you know you do best in your pressure passing, outside passing, you got to be very disciplined around not going into the closed guard. Not that it's impossible or not that it's completely possible to always avoid, but that discipline, I think, is very important in a match like this.
Well, you think about it like this. Okay, so the size difference, obviously a factor in this match. With somebody like Luis, with the longer legs, it allows you to pull them in a little bit easier, break that posture. And as he was signposting here, a little bit of flexibility enough to get that kind of rubber guard that we've seen a little bit here tonight. The nice part is, now with Luis starting to build up, that's the first time he was really starting to mount any kind of breaking that guard. And look at the underhook that Kevin immediately went for. It's just a good position, I think, for long legs people to just experiment, because otherwise you pull guard into half guard with somebody who's got this kind of pressure, you may not see the right side of standing up again if that's the case. So it's a good strategy. I like it. It's just also very difficult to keep somebody in your guard for that long of a time. Just in case you guys were wondering, yes, there was a little bit of a switch up in the order. Some things that are happening behind the scenes, just to let you know, sometimes we get surprised. For example, Mike John didn't have a match tonight. So thank you very much for your patience. We will keep you informed as the night goes on. But for right now, Kevin Richardson may be looking for a sweep or an opportunity to throw in this triangle. I think he's going to have to be very, very careful, because now Luis passing from half guard is a good proposition for him. Props to Kevin for trying to make something happening, but this might actually be very helpful for Luis Zamora's cause.
Yeah, Luis did a great job here avoiding any sort of butterfly guard entanglement and going right into his preferred half guard. And you can tell how dangerous he is for this position, because if you watch Kevin Richardson's right leg, there wasn't an opportunity for him to bring his knee up and connect it to his elbow and start to regain his closed guard, or even like a knee shield open guard. And even now, Luis is really...
Wow.
Oh, as I say this, though, what a very interesting attempt there from Kevin Richardson, almost looking at just squeezing the head. I'm not sure if he thought he would be able to use that to roll Luis all the way over. And kind of seemed as though...
It's a perfect mix of body types. Because he had the lanky arms, most people can't get all the way that across. He had something. It just didn't necessarily seem like it was going to work as effectively, so he had to give it up. But coming right back to it, I just like the fact that Luis just flexed out of it. Most people would probably have been in some funky choke in that position. Now Luis starting to build back up, look to try and enforce that single, doesn't get it. Now the back take may be a real possibility, but Luis goes back to building up the base, 2-on-1ing that arm. And, you know, this is really interesting to see how either of these guys are going to play out these last 57 seconds. And over there on the Tillis side, you see regular fixtures like Anthony, like Noah Tillis himself, giving out the best advice that they can to help their guy pick up the win. But you're seeing Luis is just under duress, and almost for a split second I was wondering if Kevin wanted to play in the truck. But Luis's base is pretty good. I don't know that I would venture that way.
Yeah, Richardson has a really smart thread around the ankle here. His right, you can see his right shin is underneath the ankle. He's sitting heavily on that, because if not, Luis has a lot of options. He can Granby roll through. He can sit through to recover the guard. So many places he can go. So I think very, very smart staple there. Some people call it like an Iowa ride from Kevin Richardson. And for a moment, it looked like he was going to control that far shoulder. He's kind of settling into a bit of an early. Oh, we have a time. We're going to come to the center.
That is going to be the end of regulation for these two boys. I have to say this. This dude walked out. Both of these guys walked out with entertaining walkouts.
Full Halloween costumes, really.
I do have to talk to them. I will go out.
Tired. Why are you so tired, brother? Like 2 weeks ago with the flu, lost like 5 days of training. Last 14 days I've been pushing hard, no break. Shout out to Alan Sanchez, Tim P. Shout out to my gym, Solidarity, my team, all helping me get ready, but I could barely breathe.
Well, you looked good, you looked composed, and I gotta say, both you and him made some of the best walkouts. Were you watching him make that walkout and going like, oh, I gotta do?
Pumped up, he got me pumped up. He got me pumped up.
I gotta say this, thank you very much for your time, brother. We appreciate you, get healthy, and ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause to your winner, Kevin Richardson.